So our question style we're focusing on is our 12 mark and our explain why question. Now, because it's a 12 marker, this should take roughly 15 minutes, and you shouldn't spend really any longer than that on it. So almost 5 minutes per paragraph, because the way you want to structure it is 3 peel paragraphs. Now, because it's asking you to explain, the second order concept that is focused on is causation. Okay, so the reason why something happened. And because it is asking you why, and because it is explain, you need to be able to justify your argument with evidence. So, some sentence starters that you can use regardless of whatever paper you're doing. Okay, if you want to get into the top band on the mark scheme, one thing you want to make sure you're doing is putting your evidence and your factors in order of significance. So remember, significance is in order of importance. So if this factor didn't exist, would it have made a difference? If the answer is yes, then that is going to be your most significant. So, some sentence starters. Paragraph 1, you're going to start with the most significant reason why. And then what you're going to do is use the wording of the question in your answer. So if the question is saying explain why Mary Queen of Scots was executed, you would start by saying the most significant reason why Mary Queen of Scots was executed was due to, and then you state your factor. Okay, the reason why you do it like this is because, one, what you're showing the examiner already is that you can prioritise the most important factor. Using the wording of your question in your answer provides clarity. And then stating a factor, so for example, political, economic, etc., okay, gives you space for you to use your evidence properly. Ooh. Yeah. So this is what you want to do to be able to get into that top band mark scheme, because already you're giving yourself a mark by being able to state a factor. The second bit you want to do in your paragraph is your evidence to support this. Now you can just outrightly say the evidence, or if you're struggling you can say evidence of this is, and then state your facts. Realistically, you want to try and do 2 bits of evidence because it makes your answer that little bit stronger. And then the even bigger bit that you need to do, and this is your priority, okay, is your explanation. So your explanation, again, use the wording of the question in your answer. So this led to, and then state the question. So this led to the execution of Mary because. Because is a really important word, because quite simply it allows you to develop your analysis. Because a lot of things that students tend to do is they'll give their evidence and they'll say this led to her execution, but that is not a developed enough explanation. So you must be using that word because so that you can develop your answer. And then you need to date Y that led to that event. Okay, it's really important that you're able to develop it. And then if you really want to push your answer and consolidate it into that higher level, that's when you can go back to, well, if this factor didn't exist, then the execution wouldn't have happened because, and that really consolidates and strengthens your argument. And then you do this 3 times, and obviously each time you go down, your second paragraph is going to be a less significant reason, and your third paragraph is going to be the least significant reason. If you can remember these sentence starters and remember the process of what you need to do and why, it doesn't necessarily matter if your evidence is not as strong. You can still do it and you can still do well. So that's how you structure a 12-mark explain why question.